Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the XWF podcast with your host, Chronic Chris Page, them no good bastards, Thunder Knuckles, Bobby Bourbon, and yes, if available, Bearded War Pig. And the action starts now.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the XWF podcast. This is a very special episode covering an incredible event that's coming up here in the next literally the next 2 weeks as we're recording now. Chronic Chris Page here, kind of in the driver's seat, handling this episode. We've got a couple of guests here. First and foremost, Thunder Knuckles, always my right hand man with the podcast. Man, what's going on, brother? It sounds like feels like we haven't done this in forever, right?
Yeah, feels like minutes, but I hope everybody's enjoying.
The things that we do, brother, right? Like it's
Right.
it's just one big thing to provide a little bit of entertainment here and there. We also got, I don't even really know how to describe this guy other than the professor of the XWF, Ned K. Appreciate you taking some time out and coming to holler at us real quick for this very special episode of the podcast.
I try to make time for, the podcast because I do enjoy coming in here, providing some entertainment, talking to y'all, especially with the event that we have coming today, which I think you can kind of summarize and introduce a little better than I can.
This, as far as Shove It shows are concerned, it's loaded. It's as I would be lying if I said my eye's not on this program, and who better to kind of talk about it and bring us into a perspective than RL Edgar, aka Dolly Waters, aka Muddy Waters. The guy's he's been here for fucking ever, in and out. RL, I'm gonna refer to you as RL just because I think it's a little weird if I call you Dolly in this situation. Man, thanks for coming back to the show. How are you, brother? What's going on in your neck of the woods?
I'm doing great, guys. Thanks for having me on again. Just chilling and watching Sesame Street with my boy. So, good day.
Well, down on Sesame Street, brother.
Yeah.
Talk to me about let me pull a Conrad. Chat me up, if you will. With your event here. What's going on with the Shove It show and all the good song and dance around it, man?
Well, I've always wanted to host a Shove It over the years. I've never got to. Anybody can do one. I remember Doc, when I first came in, would host Shove It from time to time, and Ned, you just hosted a cool Shove It, and so I'm really excited about it. This is going to be May 1st, Mayday. Wrestler Solidarity. The Dolly Waters character is wanting to show her comrades, Corey and Thad, that she's still down for the cause. Even though she's not wrestling anymore, she's wanting to put on a good show for her friends. This thing is going to turn into just looking at the card, absolute bedlam, and should be a lot.
Let's talk about the location specifically. Shoot on me and tell me about Coreytopia, Florida, and the commune that we're going to be on. What can our viewers or listeners expect?
So Coreytopia is a commune that used to be Madison Dyson's compound that now belongs to Corey Smith, and Dolly Waters kind of lives there and takes care of the residents and keeps them kind of organizes everyone's day. And so this is going to be, it's a big kind of sprawling farm near an ocean coast in South Florida, and this thing is just going to be, it's a free wrestling match, and people like free stuff, so they're going to come and kind of swarm the residents here.
So how many fans are we anticipating for the event?
I'm thinking it rumblings of 900,000 to 1 million.
You're okay. With the card like this, it's very well possible that it could very much deliver. Excuse me. Before we get into the actual show,
card,
go ahead.
as opposed to what I imagined what kind of signups I would get definitely justifies that many people. So I'm glad it worked out that way because I don't know how I would have pulled off a million people with
Free show with a
just
bunch of with a
yeah,
stacked card. I think your
yeah,
numbers might be accurate.
And there's probably going to be some hallucinogens involved somewhere,
yeah,
and
absolutely.
some tomfoolery and some shenanigans, and probably some babies being made
That's right.
behind a
Peace,
tent
love, and
somewhere.
happiness.
I hear you. I remember. I'm gonna go back to this morning. As we're recording this, it's Monday night where we're at. You sent me a message this morning, and it's like, "Hey, man, have you had a chance to check out the card?" And at that point in time, I had not, and uh, I happened to be at a down spot at work, so I pulled up the site and went to the card. And my response to you was, "Jesus Christ, that's loaded."
Yes.
Um, when you're putting on a shove it show, and maybe Ned, you can attest to this as well because you've put them on as well. You've put on a couple as well. Uh, your biggest fear has got to be people not signing up for it.
Yeah, and it was. I mean, I don't know if it was necessarily a fear. I just didn't assume that there would be this many people showing up to opt in. But then when I think it was Theo hit me and let me know that there was going to be a battle royal on this for the number one contender. I knew then that this had the potential to kind of pop off and be a pretty big show.
Well, you've definitely delivered the solid card, man. Let's this is your baby, brother. So you take the driver's seat. I'm gonna give you the keys to the podcast, and you
All right.
take us through your this literally, I mean, amazing, kind of incredible lineup that you've got set up for us to take part in.
Absolutely. All right, let's get started. And big shout outs to Addie for making the banner for this show. Really appreciate it. She always does solid, kind of thankless work, and it really meant a lot. So we got Mayday live from Neo Commune, Coreytopia, Florida. First match is going to be the Internet Championship match. Atara Themis versus Dean Rose. I want to read this stip here. What would worker solidarity movements be without hashtags and Twitter? Can Atara Themis make the bourgeois revolution extra bougie? The winner of this match will be the new XWF standard bearer for leftist Twitter shit posting. Um, I'm definitely looking forward to this. Addie and Dean are kind of second to none in the Twitter world with XWF, and so. But let me kick it over to you, Chris. What are your thoughts on this match?
I love the booking. I agree. I think Addie does a lot of stuff for a lot of people behind the scenes, banner wise, and it is pretty thankless with some of the stuff that she does take care of. Uh, I think that Dean Rose's Twitter game is A1. Uh, I think that this is a really solid booking to start off the show in general. I think Dean Rose has his work cut out for him. And I think that when it's all said and done, I think we're crowning a new internet champion. And I think Katara is gonna step into that role and has the potential to dominate because she has a Twitter presence as well.
All right.
DK, man, where are you at with that?
Well, to say Addie does not have a Twitter presence is foolish. This character is on Twitter, making her presence known every day. Dean's in a lot of trouble if he lets his Twitter presence fall against an Atara Themis. So I, like Paige, I'm going to take Addie to defeat Dean Rose. Ned, what do you got for us?
So I'm going to be a bit biased here, but I want to acknowledge first and foremost, Atara plays Twitter very, very well. Always has since I've seen her in the Fed, and obviously one of the unsung heroes at points just with what she's willing to do kind of backstage and for banners and just really to help other people. That said, I'm not going to bet against my own Avalanche flesh and blood. Dean Rose recently, joined our group on the Savage, and that's, for me, it's somewhat of a numbers game, and also just about now he's got an immediate access to a group of people who want to help him succeed. I think Addy is the best chance at dethroning him right now, but I just don't think it's going to happen.
Okay.
I think something that we're kind of looking past here. This is not just on Twitter. There's a 2,000 word limit here. And if I mean this in the nicest possible way, I don't see Dean Rose beating Atara. As far as the role plays are concerned, on Twitter, I think it would be a lot tighter. Um, and Ned sidebar, saw what you did to my boy Dixon. You're not going to talk about that. Uh,
We will. We will.
at the end of the day, I do think that again, Atara's taking this. Dean Rose has got some work to do, but it's very possible for him to do it. I know that he's still adapting and he's still trying to find his style. Um, Maybe out of character, him hooking up with you guys, you may be able to teach him a thing or two and help him along the way, which would be great. And if that's why he's joined the faction, then I'm all for it.
Well, and I want to point out too something that's going to make this card even cooler. Corey Smith is going to be the referee in all these matches, so just go ahead and paint that picture right off the bat. Atara versus Dean with Corey Smith as the referee, uh, and then we move into the next bout with him doing the same job as well. So up next, we got the television championship match: Andre Dixon versus Marf. 15-minute time limit. This is waiting on. Marf will pick his stip in his first role play. This one, when I saw the names kind of together, it just shot off at me. It's must book, right away. Because Marf was gracious and opted in to actually defend his championship, so I think these are two guys who kind of really match up well, and it should be a lot of fun. Paige, what do you think?
I love this booking. Actually, I mean, for this card, outside of the battle royal, every match is a championship match. Like this is its own little mini pay per view in between pay per views, if you will, and it has that feel to it that anything can happen and titles can change hands. It's there. That atmosphere is there with this show. This is solid. You've got Marf, who's just come off of winning the championship from Demos to successfully defending against Clint Fatwood. But Dixon is another level. Um, I think that if Marf is smart, he's going to pick a stipulation that would lean more in his favor. Because I think that Andre's hungry. And I think that he's brushed off the rust, and I believe that he's ready to gobble up some goddamn competition.
To me,
Uh,
has Andre been in No Holds Barred yet? To me, it seems like Marf would want to go that route. And I don't know if he has.
oh yeah, for sure. Like Dixon, you have to think about it. Like I know more about Dixon than anybody. The
Well, I'm talking
character
about
cut.
the character. Yeah.
You talking about? We're talking about Dixon, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I go back over 10 years with him. He cut his teeth in my Fed with this character. So yeah, he's been down and dirty. He can get down and dirty. He can fight with the best of them. He can wrestle with the best of them. His style is one of those characters that can adapt to anything at pretty much at any time. He's just a bad motherfucker when he wants to be, and I think that he wants to be right now. I think that that loss to Corey coming in, and then the loss of the second chance battle royal hit him, and then he's here to prove a point. And then he proves the point at this event, and he takes the television championship. Uh, Different direction. Ned, let me start with you on this one because this one has all the potential. And with TK being a two-time TV champion, I want him to close this one out.
Well, pride makes an already dangerous man more dangerous. And I think that's a perfect way to describe Andre Dixon. No slouch by any means. And we're talking about a couple of losses that well, really shouldn't be discouraging or frustrating. I get it. I understand wanting to come back, wanting to get some big wins under your belt, or at least, just shake off that rust in dominant fashion. Doesn't always work out that way. Andre is scary. Scary in a way that Marf would be very intelligent to prepare for. That's one of the reasons, it's fun to mess with a man like Dixon, is because there's a lot of threat to him, and you don't want to go, picking on rabbits. So Marf is no rabbit himself. Marf is no prey. The left hand has been rather, they've kind of found their footing again, I feel. At least through Marf and through Lycana's showing better performance as of recently. And even knowing that, even respecting Marf's growth, this is going to be a really tough challenge for him. And if he's able to, scale that mountain, he might be able to really start this reign in dominant fashion.
TK?
All right. Well, I'm going to take an opposite approach than what you took, Chris.
Mhm.
I'm going to take Marf to retain here. All Bobs aside, Marf has to prove something. And what better way to prove you are the man than to knock out a guy like Dixon? You know what I mean? This defense here is going to show that Marf is nobody to play with. That's why I'm taking Marf in this one. If he pulls that off, he is going to be a tough champion to beat.
Oh, no doubt. I agree 100% there. I do think that he does have something to prove, which does
Mm-hmm.
make him dangerous in this situation. So does your challenger.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what makes us here's
That's what I'm
ultimately I
saying.
say that
This could go down different.
I, s- I say that to say this. Who's the ultimate winner here?
Oh, the fans.
The goddamn right it is.
Absolutely.
So and that's where it boils down to. These two have the potential to, it could potentially steal the show if they perform, and they can. We know they can. Look
Mm-hmm.
at where, let me suck on the tip of Marf's cock for a second. He came in at high stakes last year. The very end of the year. In November to now.
Yeah,
Look at the
television champion.
progression that he has made.
That's
We
exclusive
called it
company.
we called it on the podcast going into Snow Job on one of our first episodes, just how far he had progressed since he came in. Uh, and now here he is, again, TV champion. This is a big money match here, guys. This is a big money match, and there's a lot of stakes for either direction that it goes.
I agree. Again, that's why my eyes just lit up. And if you look at their last performances on Savage, you can see they're both kind of building and getting hot. And going back to Marf picking up that big win from Demos to become the champion to begin with. This is just going to be a lot of fun to write. I can't stress that about enough of this card. So we'll move along and talk about stuff that makes the fans happy. We got the tag team championship match. Ruby and Centurion versus them No Good Bastards, Thunder Knuckles and Bobby Birdman. Bobby was one of the first ones to hop right on the opt-in thread and decide to put his title on the line. And boy, oh boy, am I looking forward to this. I'm gonna kick it over to Chris Page. Tell me what you think.
When I saw this, my heart melted. When I saw Cent had opted in for this and was asking for a tag match, quietly went behind closed doors and said, "Please get Ruby." And the response was working on it. Um, once I knew that like Ruby was in the mix, and I knew that they were the No Good Bastards were looking to defend the tag titles, Let me stop and say this. I have a soft spot for Ruby and Centurion because when they hooked up with us at Relentless last year, um, they had not teamed together before, to the best of my knowledge, or if they did, it was on Anarchy with 1,000 words. Ruby impressed the fuck out of me. Now, Cent, I've worked with him for 15 years. I've been impressed with that guy for 15 years. Ruby, I had not seen that kind of work from, so I know that she can bring her shit. And the fact that them no good bastards are coming into their, I think this is the first defense since winning the championships. They took them off of Continuum, which was Corey and Thad. We're coming into a match where they're taking on some serious competition with Centurion and Ruby. It's another one of those. It's a pick 'em. It's. I said earlier that this show has the opportunity to see so many titles change hands because it's the level of competition that we have right now. This is another one of those matches. I'm personally looking forward to this one just about more than anything else, and I wouldn't have been disappointed if it main evented. It just has that power. It has that draw to it.
Yes, I
That
agree.
can it. It's there. I don't know how else to describe it.
Before, just days before I kind of got the main event that I've got now together, I was really playing with the idea of making this go last. But really every one of these matches, I mean, it could main event, plenty of car, it's just
Yeah. No, I definitely in the main event we're going to get to it, and it should main event. But I would not have been surprised if this one did either. It's just the level of competition between all four is so it's going to be tremendous, and it's one of those that's again who wins. We do because we get to read the shit that's put up. If it comes down to predicting, um, this was tough. It was tough for me, and it still is now. I'm going to continue with the Bobby Elite trend, and I'm going to say that them no good bastards are going to retain XWF Tag Champions, Tag Team Championships. Ned, let me come to you, Professor. Give me your thoughts, and who do you think leaves here as champs?
Well, I went over a few of it. I went over a few of my thoughts while we were talking to Sam, and to elaborate a little more on them without stepping on too much of what you've already established. Yeah, this is my pick for match of the night. I don't think it's going to get much better than this. The RPs are going to be fucking insane. Now, on top of this, we're going to have to see an inventive performance from both sides. That's just the kinds of role plays and story concepts that causes these teams to strive so well and to just hit this peak performance. But if you really just put the gun up to my head and asked me who's gonna win, I gotta say them no good bastards are gonna win. And that's not because I don't like Center Roop or don't think they're gonna put up great work. I just don't know if they're going to be the team to stop this run that the bastards are on. But I would love to hear what one half of the No Good Bastards has to say about it.
Well, I think it's going to be a fun match to write for. Me and Bobby will give our best, just like I know Cent and Ruby will. And hi, Cent. Miss you, buddy. Just had you on the podcast. Your hemorrhoids coming.
Can't wait to hate your role play, brother.
Yeah, right?
Listen, everyone within the sound of my voice, and Centurion poster role play, go in and hate it. Just hate it. Just do it so that he can cuss us all out at the same time. Carry on.
Yeah, it's just going to be a fun match to write for, and I hope they have fun because I know we will. Pretty much where I'm going to end that.
Yeah, I definitely think it's got the potential to be the match of the night. And then what we got coming up next was the one. This is the match that kind of got um, put on the card. Definitely that beefed up this event. This is the King Donk Open Invitational Battle Royal. We've got, I mean, just a stacked lineup here of participants. We got Mickey Kincaid, Robert the Omega Man, Jenny Mist, Lycana, Betsy Granger, Miss Fury, Barney Green, Seal, Charlie Dimes, Reggie Estrada, and a surprise entrant. This match is going to determine who faces the Universal Champion at Leap of Faith. And so let me kick it over to the current Universal Champion, Chris Page. What do you think here?
Well, I think first and foremost, CCP will be on hand to see how this thing shakes out. I'm loving the fact that uh, out of character. Let me pull the curtain back a little bit. I love the fact that um, we didn't just come in and or Robert didn't just come in and accept a championship opportunity without um, earning it. So this was the opportunity to put anyone in there that wanted to step up and wanted to throw their name in the hat. It's almost like I say put up or shut up. It's almost like it's a put up or shut up moment. So to see names like Betsy Granger, to see names like Miss Fury, to see names like Jenny Mist, Robert, Mikey, um, Charlie Dimes, which I mean that's kind of a moot point based off of the stipulations that were made. Um, it's gonna be wild, man. It's gonna be wild. Um, it's a pick 'em. It's a pick 'em. I'm very curious to see what's brought to the table because the winner faces the champion. And now here's the weird thing, or not the weird thing, it's the interesting thing. There's no guarantee that I'm champion when we walk into this thing. So here's a tidbit for those listening who are going to be trying to talk some shit. You might want to save you might want to save your ammunition and use it when it matters because there's no guarantee that I'm going to be there. I have a title defense before this or after this. Excuse me.
Who are you facing for the
Um,
title? Who are you
I'm
facing?
facing RL,
Oh,
RL Edgar.
oh, that's right.
That's happening on the 5th. But there's a lot happening here.
You'd almost think
Surprise
he was
entrant.
Thunder Knuckles with that cheap plug.
Yeah, yeah. He's accepted. I would, but Thunder Knuckles wouldn't have done it without Xbox.
That's true.
Uh, the interesting things, the surprise entrant. So obviously that whoever that is going to have to make themselves be known within the first week. Um, not really sure how I feel about that. You know, if I'm everyone else that's in the mix, but I don't make that call. Uh, I'd love to see Reggie Estrada show up and show out. JB, friend of the show, shout out. Um, Sill has got my attention. I saw his work on Savage, which was really, really good. Barney, if he can do his shit and show up and be Barney Green, he's got potential. He impressed with the high stakes battle royal. Miss Fury, like I said, is a threat at any point. Lacana, this is a make or break. I mean, not necessarily make or break, but this could be a breakout moment for her.
I agree.
Same thing with Jenny Mist. And same thing with Mikey Kincaid. And then of course Robert Main in character. Fuck Robert Main. Out of character. You know, Robert's guy. He's got to be the one that everybody's got their eye on. But the one that you can't sleep on is Betsy Granger. I think that Betsy is on a roll. I think that it is even with the recent loss to Lacana And now going in there with, as of this recording, the cycle is still ongoing for Warfare. She's going in there with Corey. I think that she is testing herself to get ready for this.
That's
Um,
facts. And I think I love the role play limits on this because this really opens up. And I think with that, the 3 role play unlimited, any one of these people could very well win this match and go on to challenge R.L. Edgar at
well,
Leap of Faith.
well, I mean, R.L. Edgar has a pipe. R.L. Edgar has a bigger pipe dream than Demos. You might want to go talk to your boy. But the thing with the limits, I like the limits here because while you're not having to post, 10 role plays, uh, you at least get the opportunity to utilize the word structure and the word count. If words are your thing, I'll give you some advice that I give just about everybody. It's not about how long your role play is. It's about the content that's within it. So if you're a word guy or gal, it's there for you. Um, I'm interested. I think this comes down to it's gonna be hard to narrow it down, especially without knowing who the surprise entrant is. Like, there's a lot of intangibles out there. Ned, let me go to you, and then we'll kind of try and make a prediction on this after we hear from TK.
All right. I do have my prediction currently, but I will go ahead and say um, you did a very good job of going over the participants and kind of giving a brief overview, but the professor's got to go in a little deeper.
I
And
wouldn't have it any other
my
way.
my first thought is Barney. Like like you said, with the high stakes battle royal. Barney showed up in ways people did not expect, and I want to say he finished third or fourth with that. If he shows up a repeat performance of that, even in this field that's very packed, uh, just getting fourth or third or second place here, even if he doesn't manage to take it all, that's a huge showing from a vet like Barney. But if you want to look at people who are I, a little more likely, I would say, just because of their experience with other battle royals and with this specific like format of, RPs, got to be looking out for Charlie. Charlie is dangerous at these sort of multi-mans. He's proven it with the second chance battle royal. Obviously, the man, the myth, the legend, the Omega, Robert Maine. But there's something a little concerning about that to me. If I'm Robert, I'm walking in there with the biggest balls, and everybody's looking to make a kick. You know what I mean? And that sort of focus, that might just be too big of a target on his back. Part of me wonders if somebody like Betsy, somebody like Jenny is going to be able to sweep in just due to the kind of focus that somebody like Maine gets. Lycana cannot count out Lycana at all. It's tough, and of course Kincaid. It all kind of depends on how much time he has to really focus on it. He could definitely get a very good showing here. I think there's a bigger question at play here than just who's going to win it, but who's going to bring a performance out that's so just impressive that they're going to get another title shot, be it for the Heart title, for the Extreme, or for the television. I would like to hear TK's thoughts, if you would like to provide them, O Thundernuggle.
Oh, I'll take it. I'm going to do this a little differently. You guys pretty much nailed everyone. So, I'm going to give you the 4 people I think are going to be the last 4 in the ring that we know of. I'm keeping surprise entrant out because that could be anybody. That could be Lackland. You know what I mean? Nobody's thought about that. But, it's a possibility. With the 4 people without surprise entrant, I think will be left when everything's settled. I think it'll be Charlie Dimes, Miss Fury, Charlie's really good at battle royals. I don't know if anyone knows that.
Rumor has it that he threw out you,
Uh huh.
Bobby Bourbon,
Okay.
Miss Fury
Yeah.
in one battle royal.
Yes, that's true.
And I'm not sure if you knew this or not either. But he also threw Andre Dixon out in one too.
Whoa.
I mean, mind blown. I know.
All right. So Charlie Dimes, Miss Fury, Betsy Granger, and Robert the Omega Maine. Those are the 4 people I think are going to be left in the ring. To narrow it down to just a winner, I'm really hoping, against all hope, that it's Robert Maine. That way we can get Paige and Maine, what I think could be a great main event of a pay-per-view.
I am going to say this, that I think I agree. I like that top 4. I'm going to say this, that even if Dimes wins, he doesn't win, based off of the agreement made. So I rule him out, which gives me those. I like those 3. I th- I think that this is probably going to come down to Robert and Betsy, and I love Betsy to death. This is like, out of character perspective, I want Robert to win this because I want Robert just as bad as Robert wants me, and we've been building it and we want it. But I also think that Betsy is fucking dangerous and has a huge opportunity here. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna go with Robert. Ed, who are you going with? Bottom line.
I'm gonna go ahead and go for a dark horse choice because my immediate thought was Betsy. And the thing is, if I say Betsy, just like you did, I think she's gonna become a bigger target. So I'm gonna say Lycana. She just got a win over Granger recently, correct?
Yes.
Here's here's the moment, Here's the moment to show that you've got something special and you can surpass some of the top of the top. And maybe the Queen Wolf comes to lead the pack. I don't know.
I like that, and this is the thing too. I don't know if we touched on this or not. I was pretending I was at Coreytopia and enjoying a joint. It's gone now. The I thing about this is there could be so many breakout moments with this battle royal that it's sick for everyone who signed up in it. Like, there's a chance for you to establish yourself even in a loss. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, just kind of like what I was saying, the title opportunities that just come from placing high on here feel very numerous to me. It feels like this is going to determine some universal title contenders, if not contenders for every other title.
Oh, certainly. And let's be clear. The only reason I don't have Syl in my top 4 is because I've only seen the one cycle out of him. What I read of him is fantastic. He could literally come in here and steal the show.
Absolutely.
Hmm. It's possible.
Well,
All things considering, we'll see. Whoever wins, the victor go the spoils, and never know what'll happen. Could be CCP, could be RL Edgar. By the time the pay per view rolls around, well, let me hold on that. So let's kick it back over to you, Mister Edgar.
all right, so guys, that leads us to the main event of the evening. This one kind of fell in my lap and really made my nipples hard when I got to talk to these guys and make this thing happen. This could be, the main event of Relentless or whatever. Imagine the biggest pay per view in the world. We've got Extreme Championship match: King Doc versus the champion Alias. If Alias wins, he receives his 24/7 briefcase, but His Majesty the King looks prepared to thwart the revolution at Mayday. It's going to be 3 role plays, unlimited words. Chris Page, what do you think about this one?
Here's what I think. Yay us. But before
Absolutely.
I go into to too much detail on that, we always like to set up some run-ins here and there, and this one's no exception. Let me go ahead and bring him in, ladies and gentlemen, to the XWF podcast. The current XWF Extreme Champion, Alias. Come on in. Welcome to the show, sir. Thank you for hanging out with us for a minute.
Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody doing?
Man, we're living the dream. You got CCP here. Also on the line is Ned K. Ned, meet Alias. Alias, meet Ned.
Nice to meet you, Alias. Geez, I really do enjoy the talks that we'll have in like the XWF Discord. So it's gonna be a lot of fun just to hear you on here and see what you have to say about this match.
It's a pleasure to be here.
We've also got Mr. Earl Edgar. Mr. Edgar, here's one half of your main event.
Hi, Bay. How you doing? Good to finally speak to you. Just
Yeah,
So here we
likewise. Igor's been one of
did I?
probably the most welcoming people since I made my return back to the XWF. So it's great to actually finally speak to him, and well, as in person as we can get.
right. I mean, for those who don't know, this is Lee Stone, who has a huge lineage within the Federation. A bona fide legend. Great to have you, man. And this is the first time I've had the pleasure of speaking with you. Tremendous fan. Did not know that you were Alias when Alias came into the Fed. Wasn't like till months later, because that's how I don't get into the Discord stuff and I don't do the Twitter stuff. And I fucking, when I found out it was you, I was like, holy shit. Okay, it all fucking makes sense now. Uh, big, big, big championship match coming up at this pay per view, dude. Or not pay per view. Fucking might as well be. Uh, this is it. This is, to get the five defenses under your belt, which you've had a tremendous run as the Extreme Champion. Uh, you get past King Doc, man. You got that. You reap the rewards. So talk to me about where you're at going into a match that's got a lot of importance behind it and has a lot of eyes on it too.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I can't remember who I said this to, but back when I first won the belt, I said to somebody that my dumbass is gonna like challenge Doc for my fifth defense or something. And I specifically picked out Doc at that time. And it was a joke. I had no intention of actually doing that because that seems like the stupidest fucking idea ever. But here we are. um, Doc and I actually started talking just after March Madness. Just kind of looking forward to Leap of Faith. He had just won the tournament, obviously, King Doc, and we were just kind of testing the waters if we wanted to do something at Leap of Faith instead. And I think Doc was not necessarily too keen on the Extreme title at that stage. I don't want to speak for him. And I get why, because it comes with a lot of baggage, I guess, with all the OOC kickouts and shit that you got to do. So we kind of put a pin in it again, which is probably the second time we've actually put a pin in it, because I guess from the moment that I came back in, he and I kind of like, all right, so when are we going to do this? But then all of a sudden, I think he kind of changed his mind. I think he kind of worked through Edgar to me, and then we kind of made a challenge and accepted it on the boards without being explicit about that's what we did. But the gifts that people saw there, that's what that was.
Mhm.
And so here we are, and it's a big match. I'm very much looking forward to it. I have obviously thought about how to take on Doc, and we'll see if I can actually do it.
He likes to eat people's faces. Trust me, I know. It
I like to
happened.
eat hands.
Yes, you do, and you did a phenomenal job at that as well. Kudos to you, sir. Thank you for ridding the Fed of some hand activities. Uh, you're headlining this massive show. let me go to RL. Let me go to you first, man. I mean, it's your show. I mean, this alias fell into my lap tonight. I literally just hit him up. Said, "You got 5 or 10 minutes?" And he's like, "Is that all it's going to take?" Yeah. All right. Well, maybe not, but if you got to go, you got to go. RL, this is you want to have your main event. What you hear where it's coming from his perspective. So tell us and everybody how this how it finally it happened. And this is huge. This match is really really big. I mean, you want to talk box office? This is box office shit.
Yeah, it's a big deal. I'm excited. I don't know if I was cutting out earlier when I got to say hi to Alias, but just real excited to have you doing this match. And yeah, it was kind of, Doc was posted a GIF, being ambiguous like Doc is, and then the next day he DM'd me and was like, "So do you think Alias is going to accept my challenge?" And I'm like, well, I don't know if he knew you were challenging him." So, I went and talked to Alias, and it turned into this match, this kind of a dream match, and uh, it really, like you said, all of us are going to win. It's going to be phenomenal writing. When I first came back from the Fed, Alias was the first role play that I read, and it was just, I was like, oh God, I've got to come back. Really good stuff, and so really looking forward to be on the right these two in a match together. So it was a big deal when I got to book it. Ned, what did you think when you saw this card come out and you saw this main event here at the end?
Well, my first thoughts were, oh boy, the unthinkable, the unknown, the unnamed versus the monarch of macabre, the doctor of dissection. We're talking about two kind of mysterious, lore-heavy characters in some ways, finally doing battle on some pretty high stakes for Mr. Alias here. Could there be any more perfect of a setup? Just an initial entrance to a match. The king of the XWF versus a man who could easily become the top star in the XWF just with a single win. But that win has to go through the king. I mean, it doesn't write itself any easier. You're giving me material that's just too simple. Doc and Alias, when it comes to just pure work, out of character, have been having runs that are unspeakably good. Like it's difficult to describe. You look at the reception to it, you look at just the pure likes on some of these role plays. These are fantastic by every meaning of the word. But only one man can win. I mean, of course, it's professional wrestling. There can be draws, but let's be real here. The king is calling the rules. Only one man can win. And, well, Corey is officiating. My bad. But it's just going to be a treat. Like you said earlier, Paige. Who wins? Who's the ultimate winners? The fans. That said, I don't know how much we want to get into predictions or anything. I guess I'll save my prediction for later, but while I don't I don't know if this will be match of the night. It could easily become that just with a flick of a switch. You know what I mean?
Very much so. Very much so. TK, man, let me come over to you. I think we kind of passed over you for a hot second with Alias, so take her away, brother.
All right. Hey, Alias. Nice talking to you, brother.
Likewise.
Glad you came on. For a fifth title defense for your briefcase opportunity, you fucking certainly picked a hard one. Much respect for that. This match is going to be insane. Alias is on fire. King Doc is, well, enough said. Man, this is the one I'm looking forward to the most, besides my own shit, right? Because everybody's always excited for their own shit. But this is the one. Whenever I go to read results, I'll probably read second. uh, it's going to be great, and I'm really glad that both guys accepted this challenge because this is pay-per-view main event type shit right here.
This is relentless main event shit.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
what that is exactly what this is. Let's call it what it is. Like relentless is the biggest show of the year. This is it. This is I mean, I sorry, keep going. Let me step on you.
Oh, I'm good. I got no more words for that. That's just a huge match, and Dolly did great putting that together. Kudos to all three of them for getting this made.
Well, here's something that we gotta at least touch on. And Alias, you correct me if I'm wrong. I think that and I don't even consider it a loss because it's a battle royal, and I never consider battle royals as a loss if you don't win. 'Cause you're not physically getting your character's physically not getting pinned. But that was your only defeat. It was battle royal. You've been unstoppable in singles action.
Yeah, that's true. There was an angled match against the Baphomet that we wound up kind of going to no contest on. Clusterfuck happened and Alias got branded, all that jazz that's kind of defined the character to an extent since. But yeah, that's the same, and I think the same is true for Dark. I think that would be the last time, and ironically enough, from what I recall of that battle royal, both Doc and Alias were eliminated at the exact same time by none other than Chronic Chris Page.
I remember eliminating Doc. I don't know if you were in the mix on that.
I think I
If you
was, and
were,
that puts the
and
stakes a bit more interesting for
it,
if I do get that
it,
fifth defense in.
I'm going to tell you here and now, and you can quote me on it, and everybody on this podcast can quote me on it. If you do not get the briefcase, if you do not, I still have the belt after. If I make it to Leap of Faith and I get through Leap of Faith, I'm telling you now, if you want a shot, you have a shot. No problem.
Well, I will be taking you up on that.
With or without a briefcase, because you only get better in this game when you go against the best competition. And I've hit a point. I'm not just sucking your dick because you're on the podcast. When it comes to like upper echelon of the Fed in general, I feel like that level is Alias, that same level as Doc, that same level as Corey, that same level as Robert Main. I'd like to think that I'm on that level or I'm getting there or I'm close to it, but there's so much going on. So many quality people that are out there. You have to. This is a biggie. I mean, we've all said it. It doesn't get bigger than this right now. It does not. For this show, this will be the fucking be all end all. And that being said, real quick, I've got timing is everything, and sometimes it's so convenient. He'll hate me later. I'm gonna put him on the spot. Alias, we have your opponent for this event. The king himself, King Doc. Welcome to the podcast, man.
Hello, fellas. Thank you for having me.
I went
Becoming quite a
and
regular on here, huh?
I mean, it's good company to keep. I'm just saying.
Indeed.
I mean, I know that you guys are both in my eyes, and I think in all these guys' eyes, and I'm not trying to be fanboy or anything, but you're both fucking bona fide legends in the game. Alias, Doc, Alias, meet each other for a moment.
How you doing, pal?
Hello, my king. How are you?
Nice to finally catch up with you.
Yeah,
Invoice
likewise.
anyway. My invoice anyway. We've been chatting for a while, but yeah, for sure.
We've got it. I mean, it's a big deal here, Doc. The King going after the Extreme Championship. What are you thinking? We've all kind of marked out over this, but this is down to Alias and Doc. Doc, if Alias goes over, he's got the case. If
Yep.
you go over, you foiled him. Uh, how's the king thinking?
Well, I come in a little late here. Like you guys said, you had a little discussion before I hopped on here, so I don't really know what all you covered. But did you guys cover how this challenge kind of really come up to begin with?
Yes, sir. I believe it started with the GIF, correct?
Well, yeah, yes. In
We
character
talked.
wise,
We talked out of character, and you can cover in character. I don't know if we went that to that extent, but by all means, go ahead.
well, this kind of come up months ago, right around high stakes. Uh, I think Alias and I just started kind of chatting one night, and he kind of brought up, it would make sense for an Alias stock program at some point, and I said, yeah, 100%. Just seeing what, just kind of feeding off each other from that battle royal, seeing what, feeling each other out through that. A little passively, not directly, and it just, it had to happen eventually, and well, he goes and wins that extreme title, and I've kind of alluded that, in my return here, my quote unquote involvement and, what all I want to do and stuff. And, hunting after a title really wasn't my, top agenda, but I was kind of getting flack for this earlier by a certain someone saying, yeah, you don't really want to get involved too much, but, you're going to win King of the Ring. And, hi, Alias, you're the Extreme Champ, I guess go after that too. So I guess kind of lied to the people, lied to myself a little bit there about my involvement and what I want to do. So just things change. Never say never. Whatever will be, will be. But I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's a great way to, top off uh, Dolly's card, Core Utopia there. Not only just uh, how epic the match is, but uh, also like an in character perspective too. Doc's relationship with Dolly, Doc's relationship with, apparently Corey is going to be the official referee throughout the entire event, and he already made his presence known there a little bit ago regarding the challenge and everything. So that should bring in a fun aspect to the whole thing. I think he loves Alias too, so we'll see how that pans out. Tag team partner, love affair. So
Well, here's a question for both of you guys. And Alias, I'll start with you. Um, headline a show that's. I mean, this is we're Doc. I know you just jumped on, but this is a loaded fucking card. There's a lot of talent here, and this is you're talking every match is a title match minus the battle royal. And you guys are coming on last. Like, give me your perspective of the overall show and what kind of responsibility do you have to yourselves to and I know I'm definitely not trying to put on pressure on anybody, but to give us the readers, like our expectations are going to be high. And I know I have no doubts that you're both going to deliver. But your overall thoughts of the card itself, and then to be that headline attraction, Alias.
I mean, I kind of jokingly, when the match was decided, I messaged Edgar and was like, "This is the main event, right?" Um, so it was a joke, and you can easily look at that battle royal as belonging in the main event spot. You can easily look at that tag team match as belonging in the main event spot. And I mean, this is a Saturday show replacing Savage, so you could really look at that television championship match belonging in the main event spot as well. So we're talking about 4 main events on a 5-match card. And that's not, a slight against Atara Themis and Dean Rose, but the Internet Championship is what it is. So in that sense, it is a massive show. It is going to be very, very interesting. I don't know if per se there's any extra motivation being in the main event there. I'm pretty sure that just facing Doc alone is the motivation needed, and I guess indicative of the kind of effort that's going to need to go in to beat him.
King Doc, man.
Top to bottom, you guys are right. This thing is intense, epic. Uh, the Internet Championship match, Dean Rose and the Tar Themis, both of them have a quote unquote internet presence that pretty much takes up my entire Twitter feed. So that should be fun to keep track of. Andre Dixon you know, has been hot since his he showed, a lot of impressive work throughout pay per view and just, throughout the cards that he's been, he's only been around for a month and a half, maybe. Here he is facing Marsh for the television title. And both are great prospects for that title. And I think, both would do a phenomenal job carrying it and, being the champion of Savage and everything, going forward. And you can't take anything away from Ruby and Centurion. They're a great team, and to come in and take on the challenge from them no good bastards. Them guys, bastards. I know it was kind of at my expense, but I'm glad to see them carrying the titles. I think they're great champions. Have they defended yet? They have not defended yet.
This is what we were talking about earlier, is how with them bastards, this a win here cements them as the best, as the best team in the Fed right now. They would just come off of taking the titles off Continuum to roll into Centurion and Ruby, hands down, would be. I mean, it's a solidifier.
Yeah, but I mean, even our line of work here, the way we do things, looking at them no good bastards on paper, however you want to look at it, great champions even without a title even without a title defense under their reign already. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Their presence in the Fed prior to them winning the titles and just being that strong of a team presence in the Fed just makes them great champs to begin with. So moving on to that Battle Royal, a lot of great names on there, some new, some very familiar. I see a surprise entrant on there too. So you could look at it and say, well, yeah, that guy, well, maybe her, up in the air, that's what I love about, Battle Royals. And I see 3RP Unlimited. So that's anybody's game right there.
Yeah, we were talking earlier with that particular battle, with this particular battle royal. Excuse me. There's so many breakout moments that have the possibility of happening here with so many characters. Like it really, like, yeah, everyone's going after that big prize, but it's almost like it doesn't. That is the idea, but you have, so even with a loss, you have the opportunity to break out and establish yourself as a major player.
A good chance to measure up to what big talent is too. Say Mickey Kincaid, he's a new character in the Fed. I don't know if he's a reoccurring handler or not, whether he's used to this environment or anything or this writing style, but he's in a match with several folks that are, seasoned, experienced, know how things work around here. Take Demos or Charlie Dimes, for example, here. Charlie's been in a scene for that title almost since he first walked into the Fed, and he just got done practicing against the champ for 2 weeks here. And we all seen the kind of work you guys put up. So hopefully Charlie's shyness, and I don't want to say shyness, that is the wrong word for that motherfucker, but
Doc, I had the honor of speaking with him on an earlier podcast. We've recorded like 2 shows today. He's definitely
sitting around all day doing nothing.
he's definitely a character. Yeah, he's an interesting fellow for sure. Go ahead.
There you go. He just got off just having a universal title shot, and win or lose, you still put out that work and you still pull out that measuring stick and you see, where you're at. And for a guy like Charlie going into this, he knows where he can compete. And knows what to expect now out of you, at anybody that is at that level. And eventually, that guy's going to find his niche. He's going to find it, and y'all are in fucking trouble. I'm in fucking trouble. I think Charlie's. I think it's on his. I think I'm on his bucket list at this point. So I'll be watching, around, over my shoulders and everything like that, waiting for this guy to come back and probably put me on my ass because, like I said, he's going to figure it out eventually, and he's a lot of fun too. So it wouldn't surprise me to get caught off guard or even just get blown out of the water by this guy someday when he finds it, because I don't think he's going to be a guy that gives up. He told me, I think I mentioned this on here before, if I have to fight Doc 100 times just to beat him once, I'll do it. I said, yay.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you've got there's a lot. We got Betsy Granger in that mix, man. There's that battle royals. There's a lot happening.
Yep.
You look into that main event slot. I mean, for all that, this would be King Doc's first appearance in the ring since becoming king, and
Yep.
I mean, I think that is the biggest icing on the cake of this particular show. Ned, let me throw it over to you, my man.
Thanks, Paige. So I actually do have a question for both of the competitors of this very epic main event. And I'll go ahead and start by asking the king, paying my respects. But what would this win mean for you and for Doc as a character?
Whenever I felt that I had the gun to my head there a few minutes ago and needed to BRB and grab a beer and catch my breath real quick, I wrote down a few things. And I'll just read it. It was 4 things here. How the challenge came about, what this means for Doc, what this means for Alias, and it was also nice to offer a plan B for Alias in case he doesn't get that case, because he's going to need it. So anyway, what this means for me and for Doc, I've mentioned before how, like, as humble as I can say that, Doc's already on that certain platform. And that's one reason why I wasn't really hunting for titles and stuff, because I don't feel it necessary. Doc doesn't need put over. Doc is already over. Everybody, winning King of the Ring and everything like that. I want to use my platform in order to say, either put others over or give guys like fuck Charlie Nichols someone to fight, somewhere to fight for. You know what I mean? Like, okay, if I'm his plateau, I'm waiting for it, Charlie. Bring it and find it and exceed that plateau. You know what I mean? So if I'm that threshold, if I'm that, I like that, because like I said, it gives somebody somewhere to exceed, or somewhere to go past, soar.
You
Winning the
like kind
extreme
of
title.
being. Oh, excuse me.
Fire away, buddy. What's up?
Oh, I was gonna say you like kind of being the measuring stick that somebody can aspire to surpass.
I have mixed feelings about that. Yes, yes, it's a great title, quote unquote, to have, and a good position to have. But at the same time, it's like I miss being the guy that was looking at that measuring stick too. Sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. What were you about to say there?
Well, winning the extreme title. I remember being extreme champion back in 2014, and uh, it was fun. And there were times where it was kind of hectic. Uh, Say I had internet troubles and I was trying to be cocky and let a pin go till like the last 30 seconds, and I get home and I'm like, oh fuck, my internet's out. Driving down the road trying to find a Wi-Fi to kick out of the pin. Yeah, I'm not a nerd, but but to have that title and carry it as king, I think would be pretty cool. To also in character wise, to break every I know I'm breaking everybody's heart, to stop Alias from getting that 24/7 contract, that briefcase, because he has been a hot hand, one of the hottest hands since it seemed like we had a resurgence of members and new talent and everybody come in right around high stakes. And looking from a different perspective, Alias, like he said, we were both eliminated very similarly in that battle royal at the same time by Paige. So we have a pretty good track, pretty much the same track record coming up. I have not lost. I got involved in the, more of a tag team environment there, winning those titles and everything. So we both went from that battle royal, went off and won titles. I won one that night, and I think for Alias, he's already got a name here. Everybody, like Paige, if you go back different eras and stuff, he was a popular guy back in the day. Definitely already has a name for himself. Definitely has already proven himself, prior to his return here. And to be that gatekeeper for him, I'm proud to be, because of he's at that level, obviously capable of anything anybody's capable of in this Fed. Terrific writer. So while I'm looking at this as like I said about that threshold, if Alias beats Doc, good luck, everybody.
That I really love the insight that you provided there, and I'm gonna have to ask the same question to Alias, but because of you, Doc, I'm going to have to add, in that question to Alias, how do you feel about the possibility of winning this match? How would your character feel about it? How do you think Doc would feel about it?
I guess starting with me first rather than the characters. I've had two prominent characters here in the XWF before. That was over 10 years ago now. They were both Universal Champions. I'd never held the Extreme title in the 7 or 8 years that I'd been in the Fed. So that's something. And back then, there was no such thing as a briefcase. That's all new. So everything that I'm doing here is really treading new ground for me, which I find really, really fun. And so in that sense, Doc's just another name, I guess, to try and knock off in order to get that briefcase, which I've never had before. But then with that kind of 10 years that I was away, there was a whole host of new names that came through, with Doc being one of them, with Thaddeus Duke being one of them, with Corey Smith being one of them, with Robert Main being one of them, that I never got to see. And so it's really, really fun getting to jump in and to mix it up with people who just weren't around when last time I was. So I'm just really, really enjoying the ride, I guess. From the character side of things, I kind of brought Alias in as a heel to start with, and he particularly targeted old Thad Duke, which he still does, even though he's kind of shifted more into a underdog, tortured soul sort of thing. I remember actually messaging Thad and just being like, "Hey, kind of feel like I might accidentally have created babyface here," so kind of shifted into that role. So in this sense, it's kind of like a big boss fight at the end of the tournament for Alias. Like, this is fighting Goro at the end of Mortal Kombat. So that's probably what it means to him, is that he gets past the dark and the universe is his oyster, so to speak. I don't know if, and this is what I'll be really, really curious to see what Doc comes up with in the RPs. I don't really know if Doc has that same level of motivation. The character, I'm meaning. I don't know if he, he doesn't have anything to prove. He's dead on the money with that. Doc is Doc, as has been said on here 1,000 times already.
There's a reason why that saying exists, right?
Exactly, right? So the character doesn't have anything to prove, but maybe there's some other sort of motivation that's sitting there for Doc. The way that the segment unfolded on Savage, that kind of set this up was Alias knocked over the bust of Atara Themis onto Lycana, which Doc considered blasphemy. And so that kind of, that was the basis. But you all know Doc, there's always more going on behind the scenes than something as simple as that. So I'm going to be really interested to see what that motivation that he comes up with in his RPs is going to be.
Like I said, Doc's motivation, like you know so well. What is his motivation? Is he hungry for a gold? Is he hungry for a title? Has this royal title that he's gained here recently, the title of king, gave him a lust for gold? Is there a darker, more sinister thing going on there? Who knows?
Only
But
the king knows.
I don't even know, buddy. I don't even know. I just write the guy. But but one of the biggest things with Doc is is like just the element of disarray, the chaos. He feeds on his universe and controlling his universe, but at the same time, the disarray, like I said, the disarray and the just breaking it. Like, who is the fan favorite going into this match?
Everybody watching.
No, come on now.
I mean,
We all know
yeah,
the answer to that. And the fan favorite, and I mean, just everybody's watching to see Alias succeed because he has just come in to just like a firecracker, man. And to be the spoiler is Doc's thing. I mean, that would just put a smile on Doc's face just to see everybody go, "Ah, Doc."
this is I mean, guys, this is it, man. This is the be all end all. I believe RL, you there?
Yeah, I'm here, guys.
Okay, and I knew you'd stepped away, but I mean, this is it. This is the coup de grace of this event, man. So take us home.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, it looks to me like, my mind at Mayday, Alias is a bit of a revolutionary, and the king feels his kingdom is being threatened, so he's looking to thwart and stop that revolution. I really just want to say that I appreciate everyone who opted into the show, and it's kind of a big deal for me to be able to put this thing together for everyone, and I hope it turns out great. And again, thanks to Doc and Alias and everyone else. There was some people working behind the scenes together to get the type of match they wanted, and I'm just really glad that it all came together this way. And so, just overall, let me start with you, Paige. What do you think, just overall, about this show, and what are some of your final thoughts about it?
The from top to bottom, the show's got a solid potential to be probably. I don't think that this just as far as like a weekly show or a bi-weekly show. I don't think that there's one that'll be able to touch it anytime soon. I think short of a pay-per-view, which have been 18 fucking goddamn matches. Uh, this is it. Like this is I think that this is now a measuring stick for Shovitz moving forward. Um, it's a rock solid lineup. Even with there being some builds or not some builds, you've got the battle royal as a selling point. I mean, if you didn't need anything bigger, you've got probably a relentless night 3 main event as your headlining attraction. It doesn't get bigger than that. This is going to be a really good show, and I will. If you need any help on the backside, you know how to reach me. It's going to be solid, man. Ned
I
K.
don't know how soon before this thing comes up, but just anyone who does hear this, if you've got any ideas for segments or anything you want to submit, the more the merrier. I'll be more than happy to have it on the show.
All right, I'll jump in here and just provide my thoughts real quick. And first off, I want to congratulate Edgar for taking this undertaking, like going for it, because these kinds of shove-its, they're always going to be a little daunting, always going to be a bit difficult, a lot of work, but very rewarding. And what your shove it has been, RL, is kind of a throwback to the XWF Super Show. And that feels very fitting to me. That feels like it must be a pretty great honor. And, to have these high profiles, nearly every single match worthy of a main event, that has to be a great feeling. So I think I speak for everyone when I say I'm excited to see what you have, and I wish you the best of luck, and I hope that it doesn't take a whole lot of time to come out.
Thank you, sir. I will be sure to get it up on time. Scouts on.
That's what she said.
Uh,
That was a good one. EK.
Well, first, I would like to thank again RL for putting together a great card. Bravo, sir. I also want to thank our guests, Alias and Doc, for coming on short notice and helping out with this thing. I appreciate the shit out of that, guys. And lastly, just everybody have fun with it, it's what we're here to do. That's it, guys.
I think that there's a shitload of potential here. It's a big night. It's gonna be a big show. Again, RL, this is again appreciated for putting the show together. I do want to say, Alias, thank you, man, very much for hopping on and hollering at us and talking about the upcoming match. This is a big deal. So thank you, sir, for taking that time.
Hey, hello. Can you hear Robbie?
Yes, now we got you,
Awesome.
Robbie.
Yes.
Awesome. I just wanted to say, hey, Alias, thanks for being on the show. I'm sorry I didn't get to BS with you a little bit more. I look forward to talking with you more in the future. Love your work. And since I wasn't really able to contribute much to the show, and again, I have been traveling, I just want to get one last word in.
Mute
and
him.
that is
Mute him.
Sean Warstein.
Fuck me.
uh, Alias, thank you, man. Let's appreciate you coming on. I know that you're over. Listen, this guy's at work right now. Like, it's midday over where he's at, and it's 9:30 at night where we're at. Alias, man, thanks, bro. We really appreciate it.
Well, by work, you mean sitting in my spare room because we're still doing that whole working from home shit. So I was able to adjust. I guess I'm just going to take a quick lunch today. I will say one thing because I think Doc alluded to it that, what if Alias doesn't get the briefcase and Paige has, put down the gauntlet that there could be a match down the line there if that's an option. There's plenty of directions that Alias can go. One thing, though, is that the Extreme Championship does not just lead to a potential briefcase. I've been sitting for about 2 months now on another championship opportunity that I've just yet to cash in. So, under Knuckles, Bobby Bourbon, watch your fucking asses.
Ah, shots
Oh,
fired
Make
from
sure
across the fucking pond.
make sure you bring the Twitcher.
Doc, thank you. I appreciate you jumping on this. Like I said, this was all really short notice the entire way around. So you're fucking doors always open, and you know that. And I appreciate you being put on the spot and jumping in here.
You could always message me if I'm around, man. I always hop on to give an extra opinion about something, or in this case, I was just sit downstairs chilling out. I happened to look at my phone and see, you know, over half a dozen people in the voice chat here. I'm like, what the fuck's going on?
Well, it all is meant to happen, and it's not every day that you can get two legends like a Lee Stone and an Alias and a Doc together, as well as everyone else in this room. Man, it's been a really good show. All that being said, I guess you know I think RL, man, there's one more person that I think you got to pitch to close this show out.
I agree.
Hold on.
Vinny Lane.
These
Oh,
legendary people here. I am not legendary. I have no idea why people think that I'm actually any good at this. So you can go ahead and call everybody else a legend. Leave me out.
I
Oh,
share the sentiment.
Burbs.
I share the sentiment with Burbs. But let's hear what Vinny Lane's got to say on the matter.
All right, guys. Well, once again, for today and forever, as always, fuck you, Ghost Tank.
Thanks for listening to the XWF podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the XWF YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter at XWF1999. And don't forget to check us out at XWF99.com. Be sure to join us next time where the action never slows down.